Hey guys, it's TV, and I'm finally back with another video. It's been a while since I posted, I apologize for that, but today I'm here and I'm going to talk about keyboard progression and what is probably the best quality keyboard you can get considering price, the sound, functions, RGB, all that stuff. So I'm going to be covering 5 main keyboards today, which they're the 5 ones that I own, and I'll be giving advice on what kind of traits you want to seek out for in keyboards and which one I recommend out of the 5 that I own. Alright, so let's get into the first one, which is going to be the Pro 2. I'm pretty sure you guys all know the Pro 2. It's your common kind of mini keyboard. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it. With a bit of luck and sales on your side, you can get it for under 100 bucks most of the time. And considering that I bought mine for around 80 bucks, didn't have to add any major modifications, and it's still a really high quality keyboard, this is a very worthwhile purchase. So I bought mine in Ktron Reds. Ktron box Reds. These have, I believe, around a 35 to 40 press weight, and it doesn't put a strain on your fingers at all. And this is what I use mainly if I want to type like really fast when I'm writing essays or things of that nature. And just for a sound, so I personally think that this has a pretty decent, if not good, sound, and it's very soothing, the kind of red switch sound to me, and I think that it'll be like that for a lot of people as well. And the lighting on the Pro 2 is also pretty good. You can change into different modes if it would work at the moment, which it doesn't, probably because I didn't turn my computer on, but once it's on, it'll be able to switch through a bunch of different color modes. Of course, all your classic rainbow colors, RGB, like split RGB, wave, all of these things. So I'd say the RGB features are decent, but nothing special, nothing out of the blue. But yeah, that gives a brief summary of the Pro 2. And oh, I forgot to mention that it has a Bluetooth feature. If you look back here, in this switch, if you turn it on, you'll be able to connect to your devices. I sometimes use it when I want to like text my friends on my phone, but you know, I don't have my computer on me. People sometimes call me odd for doing that, but to be real, as long as I get to hear the keyboard, I'm pretty much fine with it. And if you guys want to hear like typing sounds of the keyboards, I'm going to be making another video on that sooner or later, so be sure to check that out later. So Pro 2, general summary: great price, good features, love the Bluetooth, RGB is decent, and it's great for typing because of the lightweight. I mean, that depends on your preference, but I think it's really good for typing lightly. And I can reach upwards of 100 words per minute on the keyboard, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, Pro 2 is a fantastic keyboard in my opinion to start off with, and let's get into the next one. Right, the next keyboard I'm going to be covering is the Arkon 87. You guys probably haven't heard of this keyboard much. It's some Korean brand. However, this keyboard is, I think, quite underrated. So I got this for a fairly decent price. I will show the statistics and like the exact measurements and the switches and the price of this later in the video. But I bought this model on a silent pink switch, so it barely makes any sound. And normally I would bring it to school, but recently it's gotten a bit heavy, like plus combined weight of the bag and the books. So I haven't been able to do that, but let's just say like everyone in all your family members are sleeping and you like have an essay due, you shouldn't use like a clickety keyboard like the Pro 2, but this is good for like if you just enjoy typing on your own, or you can't type loudly. And I wouldn't say this is the best quality keyboard, as despite having a pink switch, the sound isn't that smooth, and it's a bit heavier to press than the Ampro 2. But if you just want to type on it, this is also a pretty nice alternative because your fingers don't slip on it a lot, because I believe it has a 45 or 50 gram press weight. And I think that's a pretty good weight. But if you want to use this to play games, no, I don't recommend this because you don't have that kind of clarity when you click the keys. They can really mess you up sometimes. And for its price range, which was, I believe, a bit under $100, I could be wrong, make sure to check the video later, but I think it's a half decent keyboard. Definitely a bit lower quality than the Ampro 2 because it doesn't have any Bluetooth. And it's just the kind of meh keyboard, just for people who want like silent switches. This has a pretty nice kind of range of switches to choose from, but besides that, I don't see too much of a strong point in this keyboard, and it doesn't have very prominent RGB features either. Just this part lights up time by time. So that's a general summary of the Arkon 87. It's not the best keyboard, but if you like silent switches, this is a good one to match it up with. The next one is going to be the Ktron K3. Right, so the Ktron K3, it's really known for its unique, like really slim kind of build. And it's extremely light, like really, really light. I could just use this as a baseball bat, but because it's really light, it's very nice when you want to carry around in like vacations or like go to school. But despite there being a really lightweight and being able to carry it around a lot, it's not the best for typing or gaming because it has a very, very light switch weight, and it's not like 10 or anything, but because it's so slim, just like the lightest tap on it will register the key. And personally, I don't find that too appealing. And the RGB features are, to say the least, decent. And what I like about this is that it's pretty convenient. You'd have to press like function 2.9 like the Ampro 2. You just have to press this one button. It'll switch light modes. There are a fair amount of different light modes, and you can even customize them. But I personally think RGB isn't the most important thing in a keyboard, and the sound is just half decent. So I wouldn't highly recommend this if you're going to use it for like multi-uses. For carrying around, as I mentioned previously, great. Best of the batch that I have. But typing sounds are really terrible for gaming. And the sounds are just meh as well. Okay, so the two nice things are transportation and RGB, but if those are the two things that you admire most in a keyboard, then sure, go ahead. This is the perfect one for you, but for people who type a lot or play games a lot, this is definitely not the keyboard for you. So for the next one, we're going to be over a Leopold FC660C. I believe that's the model name. I'll clarify that later once I get into it. Right, so this is the Leopold FC660C. And this is well known as one of the kind of upper class keyboards. They're pretty expensive, and they have PBT switches. Not switches, keycaps. But these have what is commonly called, mine is what's called non-contact switches, as some people call it. And I think they're pretty decent, but the price of this is, you can buy it for around $200 or more. Leopold has some very, very expensive keyboards. And considering the price, I personally don't think it's really worth it. So the sound is pretty nice. But for the price, I think it's kind of meh, and it's also kind of tricky to customize because I'm really afraid I might mess it up and throw away $200. So definitely not a beginner keyboard, but it is quite amazing for typing. I used it to write essays for a while before I kind of modded my Ambro 2 a little bit to make it more leaning towards typing, and it looks very slick. I mean, I don't know how I would really describe it, but it looks great. And that's pretty much it for this keyboard. Nice typing sound, fairly customizable, like a bit of a advanced thing to do, advanced keyboard. And also does not have any lighting features besides the caps lock turning red. So that's a brief summary of the Leopold keyboard. And the last keyboard is going to be a Samsung no contact switch. Alright, so the hanson GK868B, or hanson GK868B, is an, again, non-contact switch keyboard. And personally, this is probably the keyboard that sounds the best. And it has around a 55 gram switch weight. So I'd say it's a fair enough weight. It's nice for typing, pretty okay for gaming. And this is one of my personal favorites, let's just say. It has pretty nice sound, so like that. I don't know the exact price, but it wasn't that expensive either. And I don't know if they're currently in stock or not, but you can get them through shipping pretty easily. And what I find so nice about this keyboard is this, again, the sound. The sound is so nice. I can't get over how nice it is when I'm typing. Like, it's just kind of a background noise for when you're doing your work. And this is an overall very nice keyboard. This is the one that I use the most along with my Ambro 2. And if you're a keyboard beginner, I highly recommend this keyboard. I'll probably post the official link in chat if I can find it. And yeah, so the two main keyboards that I want to recommend to you guys is the hanson GK868B and the Ambro 2. These two keyboards are, in my opinion, one of, if not like the best of, one of, or not, if not the best keyboards that you can get as a starter. So thank you for watching the video, and for the additional information, I'll try to include them with the keyboard typing sounds. Alright, thank you for watching today's video, and have a happy holidays. If you're not, just have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video.